Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a very exciting video. It is a first impressions using the beautiful Autumnal Rust palette from Melt. I'm trying to get the shine because it's like metallic on the front. It's so pretty, the packaging is beautiful, it's so nice. It's one of their longer palettes as well, so it's a little bit bigger than the Smoke Sessions. I think it's the same size as the Worth It. That's the only other palette that I have from Melt as well. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There is 10 shades in this palette here, and it is the most beautiful autumn dream. It's everything you want. It's your rusty shades, your mustardy shades, your yellows, and your super dark. Just warm and cozy sort of palette. I just think it's beautiful. Now I will say there is only 3 mattes in the palette. I would prefer one more. I would actually prefer this light one to be a shimmer. If it was that colour but a shimmer, perfect. This palette is perfect. It's just that I would just like one more, just one, because I know I don't use that as much. I use it in this look today, but you'll see I don't use that kind of colour as much. Now just pre-warning, I had a mishap with my skin and I had to take my skin off halfway through the tutorial. And I mean, I took one half of my skin off. So just letting you know, everything didn't go to plan in this video, but that is fine. We move on, we digress, it's fine. So back to the palette. I think it's just, I just love how dark this palette goes. I'm going to throw up swatches as I'm talking right now as well. I love how dark the palette goes. I think that dark brown is stunning. It's beautiful. It goes perfect with every single shade in this palette, every matte, so you can darken any of the mattes in here, which is perfect. That's all I need out of my palette. As I said, I would like the lightest shade to be a shimmer, but that's fine. 3 shimmers you get are nice because one is dark, one is warm, and one is more golden. It's a little bit on the lighter side as well, so you have the option there to go light, medium, dark, which is lovely. But yeah, I'm just very excited to get into this. I've been holding off on doing this until this time of year because I just felt the vibes off this for this time of year, and I'm so happy I did because look at it, it's beautiful. So as far as first impressions goes, I'm really liking the palette so far. I think this look is beautiful. It is an all matte look pretty much, and I don't always do that, so I'm really liking this even though it's an all matte look. I feel like as well with this palette, it's a great palette for most people's skin tones because you have those warmer shades. Minus that really light shade might not work on very dark skins, but even like this shade as a highlight under the brow or inner corner, you've got them yellowy shades to really warm everything up. You know, you've got these deeper shades, and how dark this goes. I just think it's a great palette for a lot of people's skins. It's very versatile, especially for makeup artists as well. You'll get a lot of use out of this for many people's skin tones. So that is the first initial thought. We're going to get into a tutorial, but before we do that, my Instagram is linked down below so you can see my up close eye pictures, full face pictures, all that jazz, and also spooky season is coming up where I'll be posting spooky content on there as well, so go give that a follow down below. Also hit subscribe down below to see many more of these videos coming up soon. I have many more palettes to get through, and obviously spooky season. Just go subscribe for spooky season. That's all you need to do. That's it. Just join the spooky party. I think it's time to get into the tutorial for this look. Okay guys, so let's get into our first time using the Rust palette from Melt Cosmetics. Look at how beautiful that palette is. It's just an autumn fall dream, like autumn leaves, real like strong warm shade, so we're definitely going to jump into that. I am feeling an all matte smoky eye, which I never do an all matte smoky eye. It's very rare, but I just want to see, there's a lot of mattes, there's only 3 shimmers in this palette, and I want to see how it looks. I want to see what it looks like on and how the mattes actually perform. Then I'll get a good idea of that, and then we can play with the shimmers a little bit more in my, I'm either going to do a 2 looks or a 3 looks, I don't know, and maybe a 2 looks. I'll have to see how much time I have, but yeah, that will be coming up. I already have my skin on, my brows on. I'm going to pop my eyeshadow primer on now in a second, which is all listed down below. So let's start. Okay, so I'm all primed up, and we're going to start with the darkest shade in the whole palette because I want this to be darkest on the lid and blow out into crease shades. But the crease shades, I'm going to do maybe 2 different crease shades. So I'm going to take Rot Squared, which is just that super dark, almost black brown. I'm taking that on a Cash Beauty K09 brush, so just their small little flat brush, just to pick it up nicely and apply it to the lid. And you want to make sure you have a tacky base for this. You can use like a coloured base for it, but I don't want for this. I want to see how these colours stick to the eye, especially with it being matte and being on its own. I kind of want it to just be how that sticks. So I'm just going to press this all over the lid. This is definitely a trust the process kind of look. because it's going to be very dark and intense and harsh at the beginning. So I'm just applying that over the entire lid. It's such a pretty colour. It's so dark. I love a shade like this in a palette like this as well, where you've got a lot of different kind of mid-tone and lighter shades, but then you have this when you want to deepen it, but this will go with pretty much everything that's in the palette as well. And as you can see here, I've just brought it up into my crease and a touch higher, so when I look straight ahead you can still see the edge of it, so just enough that you'll still see this deeper shade when my eyes completely open. Not that my eyes are super hooded or anything like that, it's just I like that kind of look. So yes, I know, insane, like early noughties smoky eye, I get it, but we're going to take that exact same shade and we're going to make it way worse, and we're going to do more panda eyes. So I'm going to go in with the same shade on a little accent brush from Real Techniques, just a small little brush, whatever brush you have. A lip brush will do as well, and I'm just going to use that along the waterline. I'm getting a good bit of fallout from this shade, so I may have to redo my under eyes, but it's fine. I can deal. I should have realised I was doing such a dark eye and done my eyes first, but hey ho. Just making sure as well that you're connecting on this outer corner. It's very important for this kind of look. We don't want any gaps. Okay, please ignore any fall down you can see underneath. There is a good bit, but it's the way my skin is setting. It's not, I'm having a bad skin day. We'll just ignore that. It's the eyeshadow as well. Don't get me wrong. It is giving me a lot of fallout, but my skin doesn't look great from here down. I don't know what it is. Okay. I've taken the bottom half of my skin off because it was just driving me bananas, and I'm going to just redo it after I have most of the shadow done. It was just annoying me. I didn't like the textures that was happening under my eyes. It was emphasized due to the eyeshadow, but it was happening regardless of the eyeshadow, so it's kind of a mix of both that was annoying me. So anyway, I'm loving how it's looking on the actual eyeballs. I just didn't like it being on my cheeks, so that's fine. I will do all that in a few seconds. So I look like a panda, and that's the goal. That's what we're aiming for here. Okay, so now we're going to start blending out the edges of the crease for this. So I'm going to take the shade, I think Rust, the more orangey of the two kind of mid-tone browns, because I want to use the yellow and this one here in the crease as well. But I need something kind of between this and those colours just so it doesn't go too muddy looking. So I'm taking that shade on a 221 from MAC, just a small skinny little blending brush. So just taking that and then just right along the edge of that shadow, we're just gonna start blending. Don't worry about all your edges and everything because we have the other shades to blend this shade out. I just want a nice edge between this and the dark brown, as I said. Trust the process. So I'm just going very slowly along the whole edge of that dark brown. You can always add more of the dark brown in to re-intensify into the crease. And like with melt shadows, particularly their mattes, of the palettes that I've used, so I have used Smoke Sessions, I have used now this one, and also the Muerte palette. So far, like, I wouldn't say they're the easiest shadows to blend, but they're beautiful once they're on, and you just have to spend a little bit extra time with them to get them to blend. But once you do get a good blend with them, they're just so intense. Then I'm just taking a little bit more of the Rot Squared and just re-intensify that onto the lid. Just where you were blending, if you've lost, I lost a tiny bit in here just from going over it so much. Next then, just to add a little bit of colour, I'm going to go in with Erode, which is that really beautiful like orangey yellow, canary yellow kind of shade. I'm taking that on a 217 from MAC, and I just want to pop this on this inner part, just under my brow. This has a little hint of extra warmth. So starting like into the crease first and then blending that upwards and then build up until you're happy. Okay, so I just want to do one more of my darker shades, the shade Rust again, and I'm going to use that just to blend out my lower lash line a little bit. I'll do a further blend once I have my under eye concealer all done. I know this is such a weird way of doing makeup, but these kind of things happen and I have to do the second half of my face in a few minutes. But I'm going to take Rust again, which is that mid-tone warmer brown that I used to blend out that darker shade. Taking that on a 219 from MAC, and we're just going to go in and just start blurring out that edge. I just don't want any fall down again from this shade. It's not the worst fall down I've ever had. Like, I've had way worse than this. It's just the way my skin looked. So I wouldn't completely fault the palette, but I would say definitely do your eyes first if you are going to use these super dark shades. So just going in, blend it out. Don't worry too much because, again, as I said, I'm going to do a further blend once my concealer is on. And then take a little bit more of that darkest shade, Rot Squared, and re-intensify that along the lashes. Okay, I am loving this so far though. I know I've had a few complaints in the beginning, but I'm liking how the look is turning out. So I'm going to jump off. I'm going to do the second half of my skin, and then I will come back and we will finish off the eyes a little bit more. Okay, so we're back. Skin is on. I feel much better now about how my skin looks. It was just a combination of the texture of my skin, the texture, the way the foundation went. I put a bit too much powder on as well, and then with the fallout just emphasized everything. So not hugely the fault of the palette, more so my error, but then the palette didn't help the situation. So we're all done. Just do your eyes first, just makes everything easier. So just two more little steps for shadows. I'm going to take the shade Antique, which is that like slightly warmer, peachier, light shade. It's quite light though, it looks a lot deeper in the pan, but it actually comes out a little bit lighter. I've just cleaned off my 217 that I used for that yellowy shade, and I'm just going to use this peach shade to blend out the edge of the darker shades, just to give us a nice blend. Now that I have my skin on, I can actually blend out as far as I want to. And I'm also going to run this just along the edge of this lower lash, just to really get that all nice and smoky along the edge. And then last little step, just my inner corner. Everything else is pretty much good to go. I'm going to take the shade Classic, which is that super light pale shade. As I've said before, I don't always need a colour like this, and this actually has a bit more yellow in it than normal kind of cream shades that I would tend to use, but it's actually grand because it actually goes better with this palette. Now I would prefer if this was shimmery. This is going on the inner corner, by the way. I would prefer if this was a shimmer because I like a light shimmer for inner corner purposes and all that kind of stuff, and to lighten colours, and just if you want to use a lighter shade. I don't really like a matte inner corner on me, so I'm doing it now, but I'm probably 99% sure I'm going to put my face highlight over top of this just to shimmer it up a little bit. But I'll kind of do that off camera as I see fit. Don't get me wrong, on some people, and like a matte inner corner looks beautiful, but just, I don't know, I just always feel a bit meh about it when I wear it. If I am going to use that shade just in general in the future, I'm not going to do it now because there's no point, it's all blended nicely, but I would use that to blend out edges and stuff like that, kind of like what I did with the shade Antiqued. But yeah, I'm happy enough with how that looks. So I am going to jump off. I'm going to do my liner, lashes, cheeks and lips, and I will come back and let you know what I use on the rest of my face. Okay guys, so this is how I have finished off the rest of my face. I am loving this look. I know we had a mishap with the skin, but once we fixed the skin, everything worked out perfectly. I'm going to slightly blame a little bit of the fallout, but I'm also going to very much blame my layering process of the skin. I'm a professional makeup artist, and even I make mistakes. It just happens, and sometimes your skin is just like, nah, not today. But it's fine now, everything looks perfect. So I'm going to quickly go through everything that I used on my face. So I didn't do any upper lash line liner because it's just very smoky and I wanted to keep it all very, you know, all that kind of jazz. So I just went in with my waterline and I used the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Crave. That's a very long name. Whew, that made me out of breath. And yeah, just a super, it's basically nearly the exact same shade as the darkest colour in that palette, so the one that I have on the lid. Then my mascara is the Maybelline Great Lash Mascara, no shock there for the next little while. And then for lashes, also no shock, I went in with my Cash Beauty Crystal Nights Luxury Foam Ink Lashes. I went in with the style Twilight, these ones here. They're super long and dramatic and everything, but you can still see the beautiful kind of yellow tone, that warm brown tone out here, but it's super dark. It's okay, I love these lashes. And then onto cheeks, I used my Juvia's Place Bronzer Duo in the shade Light, and I used the deeper shade here because I'm a little bit warmer today. I don't know why, I just felt like it would go better with the eyes, so we went in with the darker shade, but I can use both, either one would work as well. Then onto cheeks, I used a new one for me, and this is a Clinique Cheek Pop, which I have one already. It's one of my favourite blushes in my whole collection. So I got a new colour and I got Ginger Pop, which is just a warmer shade. The one I have is Melon Pop. It's a lot more corally, where this is much warmer, almost sunburned sort of effect. I love how this looks. I love the texture. I want all of these blushes. I don't need them, but I want them. And then for a highlight, I went in with my Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Highlighting Duo, and I took the shade Fire Crystal. So this one inside, which is the more sparkly. This is more like a metallic sheen. This is more like a sparkle on the cheek. So I use that because everything is quite matte on the eye. So I was like, we'll go sparkly for the cheeks. And I also did pop a little bit of that on my inner corner. I just couldn't help it. I just like a sparkly inner corner. And then for lips, I said I was going to go dark. I didn't go super dark. I still went quite nude, but it's like a deeper nude. So I went in with my MAC Retro Matte Liquid Lip in the shade Burnt Spice. It's the most beautiful, deep nude for my pale skin. I love it. I love it this time of the year. I think it's beautiful. I love it for a smoky eye. I just think it goes beautiful. I just love this lip. What else can I say about it? Alrighty, so that is our first impressions using the Rust palette from Melt. I really enjoyed using it, minus the mishap with the skin, but we're gonna just forget that happened. I don't always do a matte smoky eye, but this looks beautiful, so I can attest to that. I don't always love a matte smoky eye. I do like a super dark smoky eye, but I usually put like a really dark shimmer on the lid or something like that. So just doing matte altogether, I was like, let's test myself again because I haven't worn it in a while. So I really like how it turned out. I'm loving the colour scheme of this. I cannot wait to get into a few more shades. I really want to use this more mustardy shade, obviously. I'm very interested in this Redox, this one here as well. It's very I don't know, mocha sort of shimmer. I think that'd be beautiful, and I may do a halo eye. So I will either be doing a 2 looks, which I think is probably what I might do, or a 3 looks 1 palette using this palette. Let me know down below what you prefer. I know you guys are probably going to say 3 looks, but I don't really have time to... I have time to do it. I don't have time to edit it, if that makes sense. So editing 3 looks takes a lot more time because it's a whole nother look that I have to edit and pick a whole other set of pictures I have to edit as well. So you let me know down below, because I think a 2 looks 1 palette would be perfect for this because it's mostly matte anyway, so I'll get a nice variation of shimmers with my 2 looks 1 palette. So let me know down below what you think. If you did like this video, then give me a big thumbs up down below. It's the quickest, simplest and easiest way to give me a little bit of support, get me around to more people, and also let me know you like the video so I will continue to do more. And I love playing with my palettes, doing a first impressions, having that first initial reaction on camera. I think it's a really nice thing to have and I can document it myself. It's very nice for me to have. Also, don't forget to subscribe down below to see my whatever I do, 2 looks or 3 looks 1 palette. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm not promising anything. It'll be one or the other, so we'll see what happens. I also have my colour series. We are very close to spooky season and spooky lush haul. Spooky lush haul. Yeah, I know. So hit subscribe down below to see all of that fun stuff coming up soon. Also, as I said in the beginning of the video, my Instagram is linked down below where you will see all the up close pictures of this look, up close eye pictures and full face pictures as well. So you can see everything there, and I may be doing a little bit of spooky content on my stories every now and again. So you can go follow that there. And as I said in the comments down below, let me know, what should I do? 2 looks or 3 looks? What do you think? I know you're going to say 3. I'm going to say 2. But I will do 3. I'll see. It depends on how much time I have. Spooky season's taking over my life right now. So let me know down below. And also let me know if you have this palette, what colour combo would you like to see me do? I would really like to know that as well. So yeah, I will see you in the next video, guys.